All right, let's try this again. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, puppy dogs and cats. I hope that you are having a wonderful weekend. I apologize about earlier. I was having some mic issues with my stream, but it looks like everything is up and running now. Oh my goodness, sweet Mary and Joseph. It has been forever and a day since I've been streaming, and I feel like I owe everybody an apology. I have been like stupid busy for the past few months. All good things. Things with work, things with family, but things that have taken me away from the platform for a little bit. But you know what? I have an opportunity to stream now, and I decided to go ahead and take it. With that being said, so many things have happened in the past couple of months. There have been PS5 release, Xbox release, couple of different games released, but Final Fantasy is still the game that I come back to, still the game that owns my heart, and that I love. And with that, I wanted to go ahead and highlight patch 5.4. So patch 5.3 blew everybody away. If you talk about the pinnacle of like writing when it comes to the game and the story, 5.3, people ran out of tissues because 5.3 was so good. I mean, it took you up on this roller coaster and dropped you down, and it was just like so good. It was amazing, right? And I'm not gonna spoil anything for anybody who has not completed the main story quest for 5.3, but I'm telling you right now, you will be satisfied. I promise you, you will be satisfied because it's oh my goodness, it's like a freaking love letter to the community, and it gave us everything that we were asking for, and it wrapped it up in a nice little bow, gave it a kiss, and said, "Here you go." It was that good. So I say that because everything else after that is going to be like so hard to top. But I believe that Yoshi P and the devs for Final Fantasy 14 could do it. They can do it. They have the ability to do it. But even then, I mean, 5.3 is still going to be really hard to top. I think 5.4 is going to now take us into the transition of kind of wrapping up this segment of the game as we get ready to start transitioning into 6.0, right? And figuring out what the remainder of the story is going to be for 6.0. So that's where you're going to see 5.4 kind of start taking the story. I wanted tonight, because everybody really kind of did it already, but I wanted to do it this evening. I wanted to do kind of my reaction to the 5.4 trailer. The trailer, I full disclosure, I've seen the trailer. It's really good. Probably not as good as 5.3, but it's still a good trailer. But I did want to do my reaction to it and kind of talk about a couple of things that I'm excited for and a couple of things I'm not necessarily excited for. If you want kind of a 5.4 kind of trailer summary, then I would recommend going to Mione, Zeppela, Mr. Happy. Work to Game is the one that I watched yesterday morning when they were doing the live stream. Those individuals, I mean, above par when it comes to actually putting out content, when it comes to, breakdowns like that are in depth. I'm not going to give you that. I can't. I'm just not that well versed in the game, even though it is a game that I love. But even still, I think that they kind of give you a little bit more depth. I'm going to give you my personal take on it. And that's what I'll probably try and do this evening. That's what I'm going to kind of do now. So I will show you the trailer, and I will, make my commentary and kind of let you know the things that I'm excited for and some of the things I'm not necessarily excited for. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into it, and let's go ahead and look at the live trailer. That is not the live trailer. All right, let's give it a shot.
Well, to be received by such an illustrious
All right, we got this dude, Van Daniel.
I am Van Daniel, and may I say what a pleasure it is to finally make your acquaintance.
That is one thing I'm not necessarily excited for.
Huge swathes of the Imperial capital have been reduced.
Good to see her again. Emerald weapon, that's gonna be fun.
If you mean to achieve that which eluded even the storied Allagans, it seemed plain that you would require my expertise.
Kind of more diving into what the ancients were doing. That'll be fun.
Drop in the ocean for the great
Matoya.
Matoya, I dare say.
That dungeon looks like it's gonna be fun.
It is of the essence that we establish the full extent of the threat, not least if it should prove that Xenos doth indeed orchestrate events from the shadows.
What in the world is that? A tower.
Though his is a power born of the desire for salvation, we have seen the havoc it may wreak. And it falls to us to ensure that it is never again brought to bear upon this star.
So I'm just not feeling Xenos as a villain, man.
Draw your memories from
Our boy, Grazia.
Whatever stands in our way, we will never give up hope.
So this is something I'm super excited for. The story between Ren and Gaia. I think like Twitter went crazy with the picture of those two holding hands.
I'm different, you see. From the ancients who clung to dear life, and from you.
your time draws near. Farewell, servant of light.
Futures rewritten, patch 5.4. So that looks cool. That looks cool. So what am I excited for? Right? What's kind of the hype for me? I guess for me, it's I'm more about like PvE content, right? I'm about the different dungeons, the different raids, and things like that. So we're getting the new Eden raid in 5.4, I believe it is. We're also getting a new dungeon, which is supposed to be focused on Master Matoya. Matoya's Cauldron or something like that. I'm horrible. I'd have to go back and double check the patch notes, or go and check not the patch notes, but the website. But so that's a new dungeon. Then you also have the raid. I can't wait to see what the Eden raid looks like. And like I was saying, like you have the kind of like the wrapping up of the Eden story. And this is just my personal hypothesis, because Gaia is kind of what I see as kind of the representation of Zodiark, and you have Ren, who's supposed to kind of be that representation of Hydaelyn. And then you have these two individuals who not necessarily diametrically opposed, but they have different personalities, and they develop this bond and they develop this relationship. I don't know, maybe that's foreshadowing, or the developers or the story writers foreshadowing, letting us know that, hey, you know what, we can kind of coexist. These two entities that were supposed to be opposites of each other can actually exist together. Because I mean, you can't exist, light can't exist without dark, and vice versa. Right, so that may be something that they're leaning towards, but I can't wait to see how they wrap that story up. The raid kind of like sub stories that they have in the games are usually really, really good. Alexander was good. Omega Weapon was good. Eden has been good so far, especially like when Gaia came in. That kind of like pumped a little bit of juice into it, so it was fun. So I'm interested to see how that's gonna play out. Like I said, like I can't necessarily get behind Xenos, right? He's like that thirsty stalker, right? like all he cares about is like fighting you, like the thrill that he gets from fighting you. Like Emerald Silk was a great villain. You know, who else? Yeah, Emerald Silk was probably my best. Emerald Silk's probably been my favorite so far. I think he in the game he's probably the epitome of villains right now for me. This last patch of villain, I can't remember his name. I'm so sorry. But patch 5.3's villain was good too. But those villains had depth. They had character. They had, you know, a little bit of background. They were like, you know, they had a reason for doing what the heck they were doing. You know, Emmett Silk was like the guardian of his people's history. He was trying to bring back his people. He was trying to bring back the people that he cared about and people that he loved, and he saw that this was the way of doing it. I wouldn't even call him a villain. I call him a protagonist. No, I'm sorry, an antagonist. Protagonist is the good person, basically. But the antagonist. He was an antagonist. He was an antagonist against us, the protagonists. He wasn't a bad person. He just had his own perspective of looking at fixing the problem. It just happened to conflict with us. That's fine. No issues. You know? And just like his line in the story summed it up perfectly. You know, the victor will write history. Oh yeah, that's facts. 100% true. But like Xenos is like, he just wants to cause trouble for trouble's sake. And it's like, okay, dude, got it. I mean, like, I maybe they're trying to give him kind of like this Joker vibe. I don't know. Maybe that's what they're trying to do. They're probably trying to give him a Joker vibe. I think I'll go Gunbreaker. They're probably trying to give him the Joker vibe and kind of like, you know, he just wants to see the world burn, or he just wants, you know, conflict for conflict's sake. Gotta give me a little bit more than that. You gotta give me a little bit more than that if you're trying to sell me a villain. No. But I mean, that's it is what it is. Some people like that. There are some people who like, oh yeah, he's I see him as kind of this one-dimensional villain. But that's D's opinion. Take it with a grain of salt. Take it how you want it. So not necessarily excited about Xenos, but I'm sure that he will progress the story along and it'll be a great story. Excited about the Eden raid. Excited about the dungeon. I am excited. And this may sound kind of weird, but I'm excited to see individuals come back and play the game. So like I said, there have been a couple of games that have come out. The biggest one being WoW, right? WoW's new expansion, Shadowlands. I tried to play it. I couldn't really get into it. But I know I have tons of friends who are playing it right now. Dude, to each his own. Hell, Yoshi P has even said, you know, it's okay to take time off of our game. Right? Cool. I personally have tried it and I'm like, I'm not necessarily there. I may go back and try it again and see how it goes. It's probably because I don't have anybody to play with on there. I don't really have, like, all my friends are here. Like, I don't have too many people to play with over there. So I'll have to see how that works out. But for right now, it's like, this is kind of where my heart is. This is where I'm gonna be. But with that said, like, I can't wait to see, like, you know, the group of individuals that come back in between patches, or, you know, they drift away in between patches. They'll go play a couple other things and they'll come back when a patch comes out, when a major patch comes out. And I know that some of my friends who play right now, who are on hiatus, will come back and, you know, we'll have a good time, and then they'll be gone again until the next patch, which is fine. Completely fine. Completely fine. What else am I excited for? I am also excited for, I think we're supposed to get the new portion of Ishtar Restoration, either 5.4 or one of the 5.4x segments, I think. Well, yeah, they're gonna have to do it. They have to do it there because 5.5 is probably gonna be your last patch before we start talking. Before we start talking 6.0. And I'm very curious to see what they're gonna do when it comes to 6.0. I think that they're gonna make an announcement in December, or they're supposed to have like some type of event in December. I was like half asleep, man. It was early in the morning. I was half asleep listening to the patch, listening to the live dev stream. It was kind of like half asleep. So December 8th is actually when patch 5.4 releases, and then I think it's like the 17th or something like that is when there's like gonna be like kind of like a live stream kind of event. And I think at that live event, they will probably announce 6.0. They'll probably give us the first announcement of 6.0. I would hope. Wow, I died. Wow, I'm a horrible person. I think that 6.0 will 6.0 they'll probably let us know about. They will probably let us know about what a future job, I hope, and then they may let us know possibly a timeline, maybe. I'm hopeful. I don't think I've ever tanked this fight. Yeah, I'm almost guaranteed I've never tanked this fight. So that's like patch 5.4, right? I think that 5.4 is going to be good, at least when it comes to progressing the story. But we'll see.